right. Hi, everyone. I am Claire with Trellis925 again, and I am here today with M.A.D Images. And Melissa, do you want to say something about you and your company?
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Melissa with M.A.D Images Inc. And a lot of people like to say that I'm super colorful, obviously with my colorful hair. And I really love what I do, honestly.
What's your favorite part about what you do?
I would say capturing the emotions of two people in love. And like just everybody's emotion that night. Like if you just look around a room, even like ceremony, reception, no matter what it is, you can just capture so many people like laughing, smiling, crying. It goes from like, super crying because they're so happy to like smiling, laughing in like 5 seconds. And that's honestly my favorite part.
Do you only do wedding photos or?
Right now, I would say like my full time would be weddings, but I mean, I have lots of couples come back to me and I do maternity, I've done their family, and they just keep following me down the line, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're like a one-stop shop photographer if they need, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I get to like watch their family. Like I get to watch them like, be in love and then have their family or start their family and then keep adding to their family. And it's a lot of fun to do that and watch, like they got married like 5 years ago and I get to watch them have like a 5-year-old child now. I got to watch the milestones.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really
how many
special.
how many weddings have you done?
In total, I would say between second shooting two, probably in the hundreds.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, a lot.
Happens. Um, and what's like your style of photography? Or let's like what's your bread and butter?
I would say my style would be very moody, very emotional. Like if you go onto my website or my Instagram, all the laughs, all the tears, everything is genuine. I do not be like, okay, and fake laugh. Like I just basically let them be around each other. And, sometimes I'll ask like prompt questions to get those emotions, or I'll even talk about silly things to make people laugh. So everything I have on my portfolio is pretty much very genuine, and that's what I like to capture, a lot of emotions. And my inquiries, a lot of people always say that your photos look very like they don't look forced posed, and that's honestly how I feel that my style would depict, like very emotional, moody, pretty much what I would think.
And you said you asked couples questions to like get their emotions. Like what kind of questions would that be?
Like talk about the first time you met her, what did you think about her? Tell her from something that's like emotional like that, or if I want them to laugh, like whisper something in their ear. That or normally if I want them to laugh, I'll be like whisper how to make your favorite sandwich in your sexiest voice. Like just something stupid that's funny. I mean, I even go as far as talking about fart jokes. Like people I will do whatever it takes to make you guys laugh, and normally that's in the beginning of the photo session for an engagement session, just because, or even at weddings, I've done it before, just because like, sometimes you're a little nervous, especially if you have a first look, you're a little nervous because you still have to walk down the aisle. And so just to make you guys like forget where you guys are, but in the same aspect, like know where you guys are, but just to be like, okay, this isn't that bad. Photos, we've already done this before. So just whatever it takes to get the job done, I'll talk about it.
Awesome. I love that. What's the hardest part of your job? What would you consider?
I would say the hardest part is more of like a physical aspect, is like having two cameras on with really heavy lenses, and just being on your feet all day. But I mean, also in a healthier aspect, it's really good for you to be walking around all the time. Like in a normal wedding day, I'll probably do like 10,000 steps, which is awesome. But just having like heavy equipment on your back really pays a toll on it. So it's just really important to have like proper equipment that helps your back, and see the chiropractor really.
Yeah, I feel it after a wedding for
Yeah,
sure. My
I
feet
think
hurt, my
everybody
legs
does.
hurt, my arms hurt. I'm just like.
I know. That's because like I can't complain and say anything that's hard about like my job, because like I know where I need to be, I know what I need to take photos of, um, unless it's in like, a church where they don't let me use flash, that would be hard. But besides that, the physical part is the hardest for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can totally relate. Um, and what on the flip side, like, what's your favorite part about your job?
I would say like I really am a people person, so I love to meet new people, and I love when people like tell me their whole story and like how they met and how they fell in love, because I'm one of those people, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's how they met. That's so cute. Like I get so emotional and I get so like into like the couple that where I'm like, I want to always make this the best day of their life. And so that's always my goal. Like I want my part of the vendor part to be fun, and they're like, wow, you know what, photography wise, like I love all my photos. You could tell that she loves her job. And that's honestly my favorite part, is just like meeting the couples and connecting with them and photographing their love and showing them. Because I mean, I get a lot of people that I feel are like, almost everybody puts, I am not very good in front of the camera. I'm awkward. That is the most common thing I hear. And then I give them their photos and they're like, oh my God, Melissa, like, I don't look awkward at all. So that's like my favorite part, is showing them that they aren't awkward. It's just they probably take photos of themselves, and you just have to know how to photograph somebody and show their true colors and who they are, pretty much.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if somebody were to come to you, like one of our clients or anything like that, were to come to you and like become one of your clients, how does the process work? Like, what can they expect from working with you?
So, straight from the beginning, I like to be super organized from the beginning to the end. If you need me, I'll be there. If you have a question, I'll be there. I know with you guys, it's a little different than them coming to me personally. You guys make it a little easier for me too, because you guys set everything up. So I just make sure that any questions you guys have, I want to make sure I answer them. If you guys have can you give me a suggestion on what times I should do this or this or this, lighting wise, anything like that, I am an open book. I tell it to everybody. I want my part of being a photographer the easiest thing you guys have to deal with and the funnest. So anybody that comes to me, I just want to make sure that they have fun. And if they have a question that's serious, or if they just have a funny question, they just want to, be like, can we do this? Like, yes, like I'm here to answer and I'm here to help.
What are some of the things that like couples typically ask you?
Um, I would say for more about like the editing part, or like they ask me questions about like, hey, I'm really like most like the awkward thing, like, hey, I'm really awkward. Do you have to pose me? And what I always tell them is like, I pose everybody, but the thing is I tell you guys to move within your pose. So like if you're looking at her and you're like, wow, she looks really beautiful, or you're looking at him, or you're looking at whoever your loved one may be, and you just want to kiss them. Like, I'm never going to tell you no. I'm not one of those photographers that are like, oh, I won't tell you to kiss them. I know some people don't like to kiss in photos. So I just wait and ask what you guys like to do for fun, all that kind of thing. So basically, just those kind of questions, and a lot about like, how do they back up your stuff, is a really important question. Um,
How do you back up your stuff?
so I'm glad that you asked that, because that's like the most important thing, no matter who you're looking for. So I have 2 memory cards. So when I leave your wedding, I'm already have 2 backups of your wedding. I come straight home. Not every wedding photographer is like this. I'm kind of a psycho when it comes to backing up, which is a good thing. I come home, I automatically start loading your photos. I do not fall asleep until they are loaded, because I just want to make sure they're all loaded. So this is me at like 2 a.m. like if I have to, I have to. And then after it loads onto my hard drive, I normally put it on a second hard drive as a backup. And it's also online. It's loading online to an online backup system. But the memory cards go straight into, I actually have one of them. Let me find it here. I had it. Straight into one of these waterproof sealed boxes, or another one in my safe. And it goes into a little safe, fireproof safe, into a big fireproof safe. So it's 2 fireproof safes, because I just don't want to ever be the person to be like, hey, I lost your photos. Like, I haven't had that happen before, and I never want it to happen. So I am super, super crazy about it. And most people you ask that are photographers probably won't be that crazy, but that's just me. Plus, you never know. Hopefully, my house never burns down. That's a terrible thing. But I do have them in 2 fireproof safes. So they should be safe and they should be good.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any other photographers like throw their memory cards into two fireproof safes.
Yeah. Well, it started off as a little one, and then I got a bigger one because I had so many hard drives. Because I also put my hard drives after they're filled, which takes about probably like a year or less. I fill one up, and I'll put it in there. So even after the wedding, I actually just had a client this morning say, "Hey, I thought my computer had all my photos and it didn't." I always tell people make sure you save them, but if people come back to me, as long as 10 years is supposedly when the hard drive's supposed to be good for, as long as I have them, I always send them to them because I think that's important. But I also save them on your online gallery once I deliver them. So I do not delete any memory cards until I deliver your photos on your online gallery, and I know you have them. So I also don't delete off my online gallery. So I literally have 5 different ways of backing up your photos.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
very,
Not
very
everyone's like
thorough.
me though. Not everyone's like me though. So I just have to say that.
Yeah. So, what are some helpful tips for couples as they're planning their wedding?
I would say just make sure you read reviews of any vendors that you bring in. It's easier, I guess, with you guys too, because you guys suggest people that you've worked with multiple times, like me and other like caterers and stuff. But just like read reviews. If you want to DIY it, you can totally DIY it. I mean, I got married 4 years ago, so I 100% understand, and I DIY'd everything. I wish I had a venue like you guys that helped more. I did not have that. So just, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to, be there for one another. I know with me, like my husband would be like, I'd be like, hey, you like this? He'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Like he just would tell me, yeah, and it wouldn't be any part of the process. So don't be afraid to also like be in it together. Like it's so fun to plan it. And at the end of our wedding, my husband was like, wow, this is really great. Because in the beginning, he was like, this is great. And then I got so much stuff. He's like, do you need any more? And I'm like, yes. You don't know what I'm planning. And then at our wedding day, he was like, wow, like it all came together. And I didn't understand why you were buying that and that and that. But now it makes sense. So, like, maybe be more like, unless some people just don't like planning stuff. But that's all I say. Like, just don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you don't like something too, I have a lot of couples like another vendor come in and then they'll leave and they'll say something when I'm around, and I'm like, well, don't be afraid. It's your day. If you don't like something, even if it's on your wedding day, if you don't like something, tell them just nicely. Just tell them, hey, like, can we do it this way? I mean, I'm sure you guys would be like, okay, it's your day. Like, this isn't my photos.
Yeah.
So that's like the best advice I could give is just make it your day and make it fun. And just know not everything goes to plan and not everything runs on time. And that's okay because we're all here to shift our timelines. A timelines just help you know where you should be. Doesn't mean it has to be exact.
Yes. Yes.
I
The
stress that so
timeline
much.
is a fluid thing. It's
Yeah.
very
I'm
fluid.
like, don't worry. If we need to add time to me, I'll always be there. I'll never be like, all right, bye. It's been my 5 hours. Like,
That's good. And how many weddings have you done like here so far?
I've done one there so far. I have 2 more that have been booked with you guys. So I'm excited about that. One at the end of this year, and then one next year
Yeah,
now.
I'm excited to be back. I
We're
love the
excited.
photos that we got from Angela's wedding for
Aw, thank you.
sure. And since you've been here, what is your favorite part about our venue?
I really like the different textures that you guys have and the graffiti. I didn't get to photograph too much over there with that because of how her timeline went, but I really like the different textures and the different styles you guys have, and the brick and even the outside. Like I'm super into the industrial things, so Angela was too, my bride that I had there with you guys. So she was okay with like the back of Publix being in her photos. And I mean, anybody that sees those photos are like, that's pretty awesome because it's so different. It's not like, a beautiful barn behind them or, it's just like where they got married, and it was beautiful and it was industrial, but I'm really into like cityscapes too though. So I'm like anywhere that has somewhere that has city stuff, I'm there. And that's your guys' venue for sure.
Awesome. So I believe that is all of the questions that I have for you today. So thank you so much for joining me, and I really appreciate all of your helpful insight and all that.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.